Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today we are absolutely thrilled to take a fascinating look at how our daily food choices impact the internal environment of our bodies. For so long, when we talk about some of the most feared diseases in the world, particularly cancer, we tend to focus heavily on genetics and bad luck. And sure, while those are definitely factors, today we're going to move past what we can't control and focus entirely on what we can. We're going to explore how the everyday items sitting right there on our plates have the power to either fuel disease or defend our health.
It's a heavy question, right? Is your kitchen actually feeding disease? But think about it. What if the biggest threat to our health isn't something totally obvious, like smoking or heavy drinking, but rather the everyday foods that millions of us, maybe even you, eat without a second thought? We usually think we're making reasonably good choices, but hidden ingredients and all that excessive processing, they can quietly work against us.
Okay, let's dive into this. Cancer cells have unique nutritional needs. They thrive in conditions that are often created by modern diets. Cancer cells don't just magically appear and exist in a vacuum. They have unique nutritional needs, and they absolutely thrive in very specific conditions. And unfortunately for us, those conditions are frequently created by our modern diets. Researchers are continually discovering that certain foods actually create the exact internal environment that cancer cells literally love. To really understand how this works, we need to ground ourselves in the science of inflammation. Think of inflammation as a slow-burning fire inside the body. When it stays active for far too long, it damages healthy cells and basically sets the stage for disease. Imagine spending years trying to improve your health while completely unknowingly consuming foods that just constantly add fuel to this slow-burning fire. It's this hidden metabolic chaos that we absolutely want to avoid.
Section 1. The soil, your internal environment. Think of your body like a giant garden. Cancer cells consume glucose at a really high rate, so constantly elevated blood sugar basically creates the perfect soil for disease to just take root and grow. Which brings us to a huge misconception: calorie counting versus food quality. So many people rely entirely on calorie counting, right? They focus only on energy intake while completely ignoring the metabolic chaos happening inside their bodies. But food quality is what truly matters here. I mean, 2 meals can have the exact same number of calories, but have dramatically different effects on your inflammation levels, your blood sugar, and your cellular nutrition. It's all about the quality of the soil we are building.
Section 2. The weeds, sugars, and ultra-processed foods. Let's look at the biggest culprits contributing to this internal chaos. We're facing what's called the refined carb and sugar trap. We are talking about sugar-loaded soft drinks, refined white sugar found in literally everything from cereal to pasta sauces, ultra-processed packaged snacks like chips and pastries, and highly refined white flour products. The real concern here isn't just the empty calories, folks. It's the repeated spikes in blood glucose and insulin levels. This vicious cycle contributes heavily to obesity and metabolic dysfunction, which, believe it or not, are some of the strongest lifestyle-related risk factors for multiple cancers.
Now, what's really interesting here is how healthy packaging often hides a massive sugar trap. You know those fruit-flavored drinks marketed as healthy alternatives? They often contain nearly as much sugar as soda. No way, right? And those low-fat foods? They are notorious for disguising added sugars under dozens of different complicated names on the ingredient label. Things like corn syrup, dextrose, maltose, and fructose syrup. If you aren't reading those labels carefully, you are more than likely way underestimating your sugar intake.
Section 3. The danger in preparation. Because hey, it's not just about what the food is, but how it's actually made. Just look at the distinct differences here between harmful compounds and healthier alternatives. Processed meats like hot dogs and bacon contain preservatives called nitrates and nitrites, which can actually form cell-damaging substances. Then you have charring or overcooking meat at high temperatures. That produces DNA-damaging compounds known as heterocyclic amines and PAHs. And deep-fried foods, they can form acrylamide. But reassuringly, simple cooking changes can drastically reduce this exposure. Swapping processed meats for minimally processed poultry, fish, or beans, and choosing to bake, slow cook, or gently sauté instead of deep frying or heavily charring really protects your cells from these harmful compounds. And speaking of frying, the oil matters just as much. Continuously heated restaurant oil versus fresh cooking oil. Many restaurant fryers use the exact same oil continuously throughout the entire day. This repeated heating cycle actively promotes the formation of chemical compounds that cause major inflammation and oxidative stress. Fresh cooking oil, on the other hand, is much less likely to form these compounds that are so unfavorable for our long-term health.
Section 4. The weeds, problematic patterns. Let's explore some of these hidden dietary hazards.
These hazards happen when we start combining multiple risk factors. First up, alcohol. Even moderate drinking can be a risk because alcohol breaks down into a DNA-damaging substance called acetaldehyde. It actively interferes with your body's cellular repair mechanisms. Second, fast food. This isn't just one bad ingredient. It's an entire pattern of refined carbs, added sugars, processed meats, and bad fats, all packed into a single meal. And finally, diet products. They give you a totally false sense of security. Choosing a sugar-free snack that is just packed with highly processed additives fails to provide any actual nutrition to nourish your body's natural repair processes.
Section 5. The fertilizer, cultivating your cellular garden. Time to look at the solutions. We've identified the weeds, so to actively cultivate our cellular garden, we focus on 3 crucial steps. 1. Eat whole foods. 2. Rethink your cooking methods, like moving towards steaming and baking over deep frying. And 3. Move, sleep, and manage stress. So the crucial point is, we really can't overlook this last step. Physical activity is actually one of the absolute strongest cancer prevention tools available because it regulates insulin and reduces inflammation. Pair that with consistent, quality sleep and managing chronic stress, and wow, you are building an incredibly strong internal defense system.
Let's get specific about step 1. Here is how you actively nourish your cells. Fill your plate with colorful vegetables like broccoli and peppers, which are packed with protective plant compounds. Eat more berries, blueberries, raspberries. They contain powerful antioxidants to combat that oxidative stress we talked about. Opt for whole grains to support gut health and regulate your blood sugar. Swap those sugary drinks for water or unsweetened tea, and definitely choose lean protein sources like fish or lentils. These are the foods that give your body the actual tools it needs to repair itself. I want you to focus on this number, 1, because what matters most isn't perfection, it's the pattern of your choices over time. Exactly one unhealthy meal is not going to cause cancer, but conversely, one healthy salad won't prevent it either. You don't need a perfect diet, extreme restrictions, or super expensive supplements. What builds real health is consistency. Years of healthy decisions, one choice at a time, that is what builds a resilient internal environment. Which brings us to our final thought. The goal here isn't fear, it's awareness. When you understand how food influences your cellular stress, you gain the power to make far smarter decisions. So, what will you choose to plant in your garden for your next meal? You have the power to make a single positive change today. Give your body the tools it needs, and it will absolutely reward you with better health for years to come. Thanks for joining this explainer today, and keep making those great choices.